origins of Broken Design then? I don't know a lot about this one, to be honest, so this might be your show.
This one, the riff was extremely new. I was just toying around with. I'd been listening to a bunch of metal or metalcore bands, and everything was in drop C, and I was just playing around along with them basically by doing that. And then I just started playing something on my own, where it was just this simple thing, or something very similar to that. And then I came up with the chorus part, and that chorus came, the melody of the chorus, not the words, but the melody all came into my mind. I was like, oh, I really like that. I should do something with that. And I wasn't intending it to be on this Patchwork Memories thing. I thought, oh, it's probably something we'll look at in the future. And then later that same day, I had a Memories thing pop up on Facebook with an old random bit of poetry I'd put up cringily on Facebook back in 2009.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, these words.
Was that when you were still out in America?
Yeah, it was when I was, I think it was when I was traveling around. So I was driving through the US and into Mexico and stuff.
Yeah.
But pretty sure I'd written it then, just put up some words about one's own mental state or whatever. And I thought, oh, those are actually not too bad words. And I thought, actually, I wonder how they fit with this. So I just started singing those words to the chorus melody, part of it, and I was like, oh, that works with that's brilliant. And then I took elements of that poem and then restructured it, wrote some additional words, and I turned that old idea, which obviously the whole theme of the Patchwork Memories was reusing the old ideas. I thought,
yeah,
okay, well, there we go. We've got an old what I thought I could probably put up with some idea of it becoming song lyrics at some point. So that's where that was born from. So then I brought it to the band. I remember saying, oh yeah, it's got a drop C thing, and our band being our band, no one really wanted to drop their guitars that far low, but we kept the key, and then I think Adam started playing essentially that riff on the bass guitar, and I was like, oh, that sounds good enough and low enough as it is.
Yeah, because it is in CR version, isn't it?
Yeah, which is obviously what this is in, but just not drop C.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be. But
it sounds like it wants to go into Wanted Dead or Alive there. But.
I don't think but it's interesting because I don't think I'd have ever written that if the guitar hadn't originally been in that tuning.
Yeah.
So even though the recording has none of that tuning on it, it's interesting that sometimes a different tuning on the guitar can inspire you differently. And I mean, I already did know that, but I hadn't tuned the guitar into a different tuning for quite some time, so don't know why I didn't do it more often, to be honest. But so that's where that came from, and then obviously we expanded the idea from there. I know that you added that riff for the...
Yeah, I remember the session quite well. I don't know if we actually worked on One Step Forward in the same session. I think we worked on a couple.
Yeah, I think we did actually. It was quite a productive little...
Yeah. I was playing around with, it might have been actually, because there's the chords in the breakdown of One Step Forward. I was playing a variation of those chords, which is when I came up with my part, which is the bridge of Broken Design.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's kind of, it's a C shape, but then you've got the additional finger on the E string, the bottom E string. So it's kind of like a power C chord. So like.
Yeah, I see.
So just playing around with that, and then threw the G major in, and was going for a bit of a sort of Weezer doing grunge riff. I just wanted a big dumb riff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even thinking putting it in this song.
Yeah.
But it just...
I think Jake really liked it. It was like, oh, I like, that sounds cool. How do we put that in? Because I know originally that more like what has become the bass-led part. Because the verse, it's a strange structure because it's got basically two different types of verse.
Yeah.
Really, it's not like a bridge. They're just different verses, but they're different types of verse. So obviously we've got that big big riff part, which I call like the second part of a verse.
Yeah, it's kind of, you got the sleepy half, which
Yeah.
isn't like it's not criticism. It's
No.
it's just the vibe
Gentler,
of it.
yeah.
And then that part comes in, and
Yeah.
it's like a power. It's just
power.
power.
And it's fun. It's interesting because obviously originally when I was writing it, it went straight into the chorus from the first half of the verse into the chorus and background in a much more like, I guess, standard way. So yeah, throw that bit in. I think we all instantly just loved playing that bit. I mean, I look forward to playing that every time we're playing it. That just the way that kicks in, and the way it sounds. I think it makes the song propel along better. It gives it more energy. So then I know obviously I'd already written all the other bits when I brought it to the band, and I didn't have any words for this whole new section.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was coming to record like scratch vocals, I was like, I need to put some words here. And originally I was kind of following that doon doon, just that really slow thing. I thought, hang on a minute, it's quite dirgy and rhythmic. What if I like slow? It's powerful, but it's like a slower, like punchy thing. What if I made the words much faster? So I wrote these really long bass. So I just did this kind of stream of consciousness thing, thinking about the other lyrics to tie in with it. I did then in the way that I have done in the past, but particularly because of this project, I thought, I wonder if I've got any other ideas, because I mean, it's a theme that I've revisited many times in things that never came to anything, and songs that have, and songs that just fallen by the wayside. I was looking through the old lyric book, and I was pulling out lines, and then I kind of restructured them, added a load more into these quite dense lyrical moments, and it kind of is almost at odds with the slower pace of the guitar or of the instrumentation. So I found that quite a fun thing to do. It was like, I'm not gonna rap this, but I'm gonna just sing it, like use a much faster rhythm for those vocals.
Yeah, I remember when we were working on the chorus, because the chorus is more, to me it feels more like a stadium anthem in the chorus, and I wanted to come up with something quite epic for that part. And I had remember the band Manson, the 90s Britpop, post Britpop band, and there's the opening song on their Attack of the Grey Lantern album called "The Chad Who Loved Me." I had that song in mind, not ripping it off, but just how I was going to approach the guitar on that, because it's a nice little straightforward chord sequence, but I just wanted to just lift it.
Yeah, no, I think the guitars. So when I originally wrote this chorus, it was just pretty much straight chorded, but that melody lifts it. It does make it a bit more anthemic.
And it's also it's purposely playing offbeat. It's ahead. It's almost ahead of the chord changes. And I was not sure if it was going to distract too much from the vocals. Yeah. But I think it works. We've heard it on playback a number of times now, and
No, I really like it. I think it elevates that part, gives it something.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit more interesting than obviously just strumming those chords like I had done on the originally.
One of my favourite guitar parts that I've ever come up with is on the verses.
Yeah,
like I think that just came out of just looping that bit over and over.
Yeah, we did play that kind of ad nauseum as a band, but we were because it's very hypnotic, and I think we were just in that's
it. And I do a variation of it on the outro of the song, but it's one of those, I feel like I would just love to play it somewhere out in the open, where you've got a full moon and you've got, I don't know, just vast open space in front of you, whether you've got the sea,
a wide open space.
Nice. I see what you did there. But
No,
I would love to play that. Just I don't know, whether it's like Whitby Cathedral or something like that.
You know, we should book a show at one of those amphitheaters. You know,
Yeah,
the big old,
amphitheatre.
like,
Yeah,
the
that
big
would be
old, but the
perfect.
big old like Roman looking ones
Yeah.
with the next to a
Manic
sea.
Theatre in Cornwall.
Yeah, there is that
Cornwall
one,
one.
and there's one in Italy, and there's one in
Yeah.
Egypt that I've seen that are all they're just these big stone
Yeah.
natural amphitheaters with
Yeah, I just think that song lends itself to. Yeah, it's intimate and it's anthemic at the same time.
Yeah, I think
which isn't easy to pull off, I don't think.
No, it's a very late addition as well to what we were. I remember played it to a few people, and a couple of the comments from a couple of different people have been, "Oh, I've never heard you do anything this heavy before," and I realised that even though we'd written some in the past that may have like kind of gone this way or had stuff in other projects, and a few of I think some of the other Pocket Symphony songs have been on the heavier side. This might be like we've put a lot of focus as a band on stuff that was more melodic, or I mean this is a lot of melody but more a gentler kind of music, and even the stuff on Patchwork Memories that has come out and prior to like Solophobia has been a lot more gentle and melodic. So we're into the second half of this this collection, and we're starting to get into the grittier, the heavier side of us, which I'm really excited for people to hear us do, because I know that we do play like that, and we certainly at rehearsals have toyed with quite a few heavier songs, but sometimes they just fall by the wayside. So it's really nice to put one out and put some focus on it and show people that we can rock out, man.
So you're talking about sort of metalcore artists that influenced the song. Is there any particular bands or artists that influenced it?
I was really enjoying the Next Gen, Bring Me the Horizon's Next Gen album, which I think is a fantastic album. And then, but also a band called Motionless in White. I was listening to a lot of them. Bad Omens. And I think Broken Design, you can kind of almost hear those influences in it, even though as a band, no one was really aware that was the case. I think it's that maybe it's just because I know what I was listening to, but I feel that you can hear those subtly in there, which is a nice palette to play with sometimes. I wouldn't want us to suddenly become a metalcore band. It's not about that, but what are the things that I like about it? Well, I was really enjoying the darkness of that lower tuning and writing in that brought that element of darkness or into the song. That's probably why I can kind of still hear it there.
I think it's got so in the verses it's probably got some of your sort of lowest pitch vocals, but in the chorus you're soaring on it, so it's got some for variations of dynamics there and building up, and
maybe that's probably the subtle influence there as well of that, because there's a lot of that in a lot of metalcore. There's I mean, I'm not screaming on it.
But it's not a case of just the old school sort of quiet loud dynamics.
I certainly had a lot of fun with it anyway. I'll say that, and hopefully everyone else does listening back to it.